Hello, this is Charmaine Gregory, and I want to talk with you today about why it's important to have a will and why it's important to have life insurance. So, you may be young and relatively so, like myself, I'm 43, and you may be thinking that there is really not any need to have a will at an age, less than 50 or something like that. But you would probably not be correct, because the truth is, and this is not to be scary or sound morbid, is that we are not guaranteed any days beyond the current day that we're currently living in. And when we plan ahead and we make provisions for those that could be left behind when we're gone, it makes all the difference in the world as far as how they exist after we're gone. And so this was some of the most sage advice that I got early on, and that was to make a will and also to get life insurance for both myself and my spouse. And we got married later on in life compared to many others. So I was 30 and he was 34 at the time. And we did not have any children then. We did not have a lot of assets at that point either, but we knew that we had to establish those items just in case. Now, we're not living in a high risk area, or we're not doing jobs that are high risk for danger, but you don't know what is going to happen even on your commute into work. You just never know what tomorrow will bring. So, it's not a fatalistic type of situation, it is just a planning situation. And it can make all the difference to those who love you, who you happen to leave behind. So, for example, we just did some very basic things. So, we got life insurance policy for each one of us, and we basically based it on what we thought our professional income over a lifetime would basically be, and appropriately got a policy. Now, this is not a whole life insurance policy, this is just a basic life insurance policy, and we did that at the onset. The next thing that we did was we got a will established, and we did not have children then, but we still thought about who would be the person that would take over the care of our potential children and put those names in the will at that time as well. And this just is a simple thing. It does not take very much. You can have, I'm sure you probably have some legal services that are available to you through your job, or you may be able to do something like this pretty inexpensively, but it just makes all the difference in the end. Because, God forbid, if something were to happen to you or something were to happen to your loved one, you just don't want there to be any ambiguity. They're dealing with your loss, they're dealing with the pain that's associated with that. They really don't need to be dealing with money stress and other items that can come along with the passing of a dependent, or the passing of someone that you are dependent on for income wise. So, this is just a simple thing. It doesn't take much, like I said, and it's just something that's been on my heart because I have seen situations where this is not done. There is no will. There is no life insurance, and what ends up happening is you have maybe some potential for characters who are not as upstanding in the family or outside, who try to acquire what little is left from that person that has passed. And the person that should be getting those benefits, they end up not, because there's no like claim to it, and there was no previous claim to it by the people who are no longer with us. So, I'm not trying to depress you, I'm not trying to be morbid, but like I said, I think that this is something that we just don't talk about very much, and it's something very important that we should be paying attention to. Because pay attention to it now while you're thinking about it, because you don't, like I said, you're not promised tomorrow. I work in a situation where I see death and disability happening a lot, and it is very, it's very is very striking, and it is also very sad when you have those that stay behind are not taken care of in the way that they should be, when it could have been all prevented. So hopefully this is helpful to you. 2 points that I wanted to share with you today: make a will. I don't care if you don't have anything. If you only have like the shirt on your back and like a couch, still make a will. If you have anybody in your life that potentially will be left behind once you are gone. And then the second is to get life insurance. And if you happen to work in a field, like for example, I don't know if you happen to work in a field where it's possible that you could become disabled, or you could have a huge loss of income if you were to be disabled, then the other thing that I would recommend is to get disability insurance. And I mean, I think those are three basic things that would just make all the difference. If you were to, number one, become maimed or have an inability to work, at least you'd have the disability insurance that would be able to help you out. And if you were to unfortunately die, that your loved ones would have the benefit of having some money to at least even take care of the funeral costs and all of the expenditures that unfortunately come along with death. So that's my that's what I have for you today. I'm so sorry it's a little bit on the macabre side, but I feel like it's something important that we just don't talk about, and I feel like it was on my heart, so I have to share it. So anyway, this is Dr. Charmaine Gregory, and I'm not an accountant, I'm not an insurance agent, I'm not any of those things, but I'm just sharing with you some of the things that have been on my heart lately and that have benefited us and that we put in place early in the game. And I think that it's not too late for you to do the same. All right, so be strong, be brave, and unleash your greatness.